On today's Minute of the Apes, Minute 67 makes all three of us kind of go,
Things that make you go,
Exercise would an ape make a human down. Then talks. With a divine bound. We are determined to know what the apes want. War or peace.
They are the good humans, it's a good human.
And if it is man's destiny one day to be dominated, then, oh, please, God, let him be dominated by such as you.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd, and those two lovely gentlemen that were there with me in the teas kind of going, are Richard and Sean. How are you boys?
hello, happy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday. How are we doing this Tuesday morning?
Doing all right.
Now, being that we record these on a Sunday morning, are we somehow seeing into the future when we predict how we're doing this Tuesday morning?
Oh, man, I got my inventory yesterday. I'm trying to get it all up and out. It's DC new release day. I'm stressed. I'm looking at all the tasks before me. I'm freaking out. That's normal. That's a Tuesday.
So this obviously is recorded, and when I mention what I'm going to mention, it's going to be, when people hear this, is going to be the past. But I saw you have a new app. Is that correct for Zeus?
We are working on it.
You're working on
Chris
it.
Chris has got it. He's testing it basically, and I was so excited. I want to share with people that we'll be having an app coming soon, so you
That's
can actually
awesome.
do your comic pull list and checklist online and send it to us and pay for it there if you want, or have it held. It's really exciting to have it as an app as opposed to going to visit a website, right?
So
Nice.
maybe it will sync up with when this actually comes out. The app will be there. So if you
Might already
want
be
your
out.
comics,
The thing we were struggling with was we were looking at that whole Apple's like 33rd take off of it.
Yeah.
We're trying to kind of figure that out. I guess it looks like if people use Apple Pay, we lose a third of it, but if they use just their own cards, we don't.
do you have to
'Cause
include
otherwise-
Apple Pay? Is it like if you
No.
make an app for them, you have to put it there, or it's just a choice?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you think about, how would retailers ever actually sell stuff through an app if Apple took a third of it every single
Third of
time?
it.
Yeah,
That's what I was
that'd
wondering.
break any retailer.
So this can be an in between. This could be just a private conversation later. But with what with what I do for a living, and I used to oversee a big television groups, all of their digital properties, Apple and apps is like that's a nightmare for me. I literally wake up in a cold sweat when I think of Apple and apps because we used to have so many fights with them and all this stuff. So the moment you said that, I was kind of like, ugh.
Well, let's talk about an in between. Well, let's talk about this minute now.
I
Yeah.
think you're right. Let's go with minute 67. Sean, tell us what's going on.
All right, we're going to start minute 67 with a water feature through a tree that is mysteriously silent and ends with a shot of the security forces aiming.
All right, let's take a listen to minute 67 of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Ready. Aim.
As of minute 67, we have a courtyard with a gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, imported apes, Caesars. We've lost some apes in the battle of ape management. We've lost guards, and I have a feeling Armando's not going to show back up, and I think it's only going to get worse from here.
So, have we left the Quiet Before the Storm, or is the Quiet Before the Storm still technically going on?
I think until the shooting starts, the storm has not broke.
Okay.
So I guess we're to take the apes, because the apes with the gas cans are now running down one of the kind of areas of the plaza, and then we finally get a unit of troops coming towards them and setting up to confront the apes that have the gas cans, right? Mm-hmm. But then we have Caesar and another group of apes that are I guess, moving towards their position, but never actually get there in time before the guards have kind of taken a stance to shoot the apes with the gas cans. I mean, that's basically what happens in this minute, right?
Well, that's almost, and it also shows a little bit, I think, of how out of sync your version is with the unrated, because it seems for ours, does the shooting occur here?
No.
It's in the next minute.
They're aiming.
Okay.
Yeah, they're aiming.
I thought you were saying you had shooting in your minute. I missed it.
No. They set down prepared to.
Okay.
To lay fire or to stop them. The thing is that the only thing that I really kind of didn't appreciate about this moment is there's the assemblage of guerrillas with the gas cans that are kind of walking down a corridor. And then we get another group of guerrillas with Caesar in the lead that don't have gas cans. But because they're using roughly the same number of chimps and gorillas for those two moments, that it feels like the same grouping. Like they just said, okay, let's move over here. Let's reset. Yeah. Let's put Caesar in front, drop the gas cans.
I guarantee you that's what they did.
Well, no, that's what I mean. It looks like I didn't count it, but it looks like the same. They're in the same formation, the same pattern. They're kind of doing the same thing. If those gorillas with the gas cans have been coming down over the side of that embankment that they had come down earlier to dump the gas and were pouring over like that, and then see the troops, that would make me feel like it was a completely different gathering of apes than the other one that Caesar appears to be bringing to the courtyard. I don't know what Caesar's apes are doing. Are those the ones coming from ape management?
Well, and I agree. We have groups of apes, and we don't know. Number one, we don't know the difference. We don't know their agenda. There's not been any discussion, even hints of what they're going to do to try to get past the guards or anything like that. It's just a bunch of running. And when we first started this movie, you made some comments, Richard, about this not being a very cinematic movie. And I remember you saying that, and I took a little exception because I thought Thompson was doing a great job with some of the angles. If you recall, there was that wonderful shot in the courtyard at the very first of the film where the two boots were in the foreground, the shot we're looking through, and we just in that shot alone, we felt the oppression. I feel the end of this movie is so not cinematic, almost television-like, that we get the shot of the troops running. And I like that shot. I like the urgency of them running to the moment. But cinematic in this moment, instead of just being a high wide where we see them running, would have been to go low and have them almost running over the camera so that we as an audience feel the oppression there. And it feels to me, even in this moment, this discussion of the apes just feel recirculated and redone, and the shot choices being what they are, that they really either they were against time or they were like, okay, we just got to get this. We need a shot of them running and we'll assemble it later. It doesn't have any cinematic nature to it at all.
We talk about the use of the quiet of the plaza, mm-hmm. and we hear the boots marching, and this is really a moment where we could have used a little more score coming in to kind of add to this tension, because the boots themselves just sound really annoying and ADR and don't provide any intensity for me whatsoever. They feel like while they may be getting the audio of the actual boots themselves, it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like somebody's in the studio making those boot noises, and so it just kind of I look at it and all I can think is what
what story are they trying to tell at this moment? Obviously, they're trying to tell a story of the apes are trying to overtake the city. The troops are going to meet them, but and look, I love films where you don't even have to hear dialogue and it's just images tell you the story. That story is not told real well in these moments. And they could do a lot better. With a score would help. People saying things would help. If something other than just boots would help.
I think where it suffers, and it's been a problem with the whole movie, is we don't have a sense of layout of where these guards are versus where ape management is versus where the control center is versus where these apes came out of the the stairwells with the gasoline. So, Richard, your confusion is coming, you don't know, are these two different groups of apes? Where are they coming from? Because we have no idea how anything is laid out. We have no idea how the battle is going to work because we don't know what the battlefield is.
Right.
A, because
That's
it's black. You can't see anything. They've turned off all the lights. And B, we have no structured layout to know, all right, the apes are going to be coming from this way. Oh, of course, I should expect a flanking maneuver at some point because they're wide open over here. But no, we don't know anything about what's going on.
So do you remember that you guys have both watched Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Remember in the final season where there's that moment where it's supposed to be so pitch black that you can't see anything at all?
Yeah.
And we spent like 20 minutes watching a battle. Like, I don't know what's happening because I don't know where it's coming from or what's going on or what's happening there. I mean, there was an element that was what it was supposed to suggest, was that it was so black that you could not see what was happening and that terror was happening all around. This just feels, specifically to Sean, that kind of same chaotic, like, I just don't know what's happening. I can't tell where these people are. No battle lines are drawn. Nothing's set up. I have no idea what the playing area is. I have no idea why there's two groups. And at this point, we saw them toss some gasoline, but otherwise these apes are just kind of running around. They're not doing anything.
To that point, okay, so let's go back and use that Game of Thrones episode as an example. That I agree. It was too dark. But at the same time, I thought, okay, they're taking a chance. So I kind of waffled as far as how I felt about that when all that controversy went down. However, what they did do for that episode that this movie does not is, and I'd have to go back and watch it again, but I remember we understood what the stakes were as they went into this area. Now, they didn't shoot it well enough for it to pay off. This moment could have benefited from just the simplest of scenes. We've got that hockey board in the control room.
That would work.
They could say, hey, here's ape management. Let's get our guards set up here.
We're at the center of the city. We've positioned guards at every, and it's somebody relaying to the governor what's going on. And it is those very innocuous moments. You're like, okay, well, they're just doing this. Get me to the action. Yet those moments are so crucial to let us know where the threat's coming from.
Yeah.
And then if you had apes converging from every way, if they're at the center of the city, you would almost go, oh, I kind of get what they're doing. And it would have benefited even from Caesar saying, you'll be in the high position. I'll give you a signal when to do what I need you to do. Any of those kind of things, you don't have to tell them what they're going to do, but you're saying, I'm sending you to different areas.
We could have really cut out a lot of this. We could have had the ape management chaos intercut with the warnings to the people to get home, rather than make those two different scenes, kind of intercut those there. Mm-hmm. Then from the ape management, see them pour out, and then see them pour gasoline in a courtyard, and then bump into this counter groups with some type of Brett command. We could have taken the last 10 minutes and just reworked a little bit better. So I think, the Quiet Before the Storm is, now that I'm thinking about this, is just not working. They needed to take the anger of the ape management control and moved it out to the courtyard with even the simple tossing of gas, and then the units encountering the people tossing gas. If that would have been kept the tension up.
If we'd had moments where you're conveying to the governor and he's losing his shit, you could have then gone to inside the troops' room where you do the whole shot of pulling guns off walls. It's just that kind of that chaos, that they're armed, they're organized. And that tells us a different story than what we've got now, which was passive dude in the courtyard, not talking to anybody, standing alone.
Yeah.
Now, eventually, and in this moment, we do get the shots of the two parties converging upon each other, correct?
Right.
So
yeah, because the guards, are using their tried and true method of